Well, hello there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another Creators Checkup. This is where we help you to solve temporary creative problems by applying timeless spiritual principles. My name is Alan C. Paul. If you're new to our live stream, if you're new to God and Gigs, welcome. Thank you so much for giving us a chance. If you're watching on replay, I know this is a holiday weekend for many who are in the United States. Thanksgiving was yesterday. Maybe you're getting over your turkey coma just now. Maybe you've already hit the stores for Black Friday. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Whatever reason that you're joining us today, thank you for joining me. Thank you for jumping in. And I hope that I can give you some value, some tips, some strategies, and some mindsets that will help you to become the creator that God created you to be. Thank you, those of us who are joining us over on TikTok. We are going live through our YouTube channel and also on TikTok. We used to do all different platforms. I'm trying to be a little bit more strategic now. So now I'm really focusing on just a couple of channels at a time. So if you're joining me on TikTok, I can see your comments. I'm looking back and forth between our two screens here on YouTube as well. So I can see your comments on TikTok, but I can post your comments on YouTube. So if you join us on YouTube, all you got to do is comment and you'll see that I can pop up your questions, your comments right here. So that helps our channel, that helps engagement. So I welcome your comments and engagement. And again, if you're watching on TikTok, I'll definitely try to check in and look up a little bit so I can also have you be a part of the conversation. Also, I want to make sure I remind you that we are always open to people who want to give, who want to support God and Gigs. If you're watching on YouTube right now, by the way, TikTok, you can always jump over to our YouTube, see the screen that I'm sharing. But right over here on my left-hand corner, or your left-hand corner, my right-hand corner, however you want to say it, there is a QR code that you can scan, and it takes you to a giving page where you can give any amount if you'd like. If you support what we do for Christian creators, faith-focused artists, creators, and musicians and entrepreneurs, feel free to jump in there and you can scan, give any amount. Maybe you're using your laptop, maybe you're using your iPad. You can scan it with your phone. Whatever you want to do, I just want to make sure that you know that that's available because we are here because of your support, because of your engagement, and because of your prayers. So thank you so much for thinking about that and considering that on this Thanksgiving weekend. We're thankful for you. I am absolutely thankful for you. Remember, if you're watching on replay, let me know you're watching on replay because I want to know where our replay viewers are. Because like I said, I know maybe you're out shopping already. I'm definitely not the Black Friday shopper. You'll see why in a minute. But let's go ahead and get right into what we're going to be discussing today. First of all, not importantly, but one of the most important things I wanted to kind of like share again is our news and notes, some of the things that are going on in our community. And some of these things I realize not everybody gets a chance to see. So if you heard this last week, forgive me. I want to make sure that I cover some of these things that are super important to our entire community. So we're going to go over the YouVersion trip I got to take. That's a huge opportunity and a huge blessing that I want to make sure you guys get a chance to kind of relive through my experience, as well as what's going on in our podcast, The God and Gig Show. I'm going to talk about a brand new offer that's going to be coming up actually not very soon. It's actually available via an early access pass for you already. And then we're going to talk about a rescheduled final creator workshop, our final creator workshop for this year. We had to reschedule it, but thank God we were able to find a new date. So that's going to be something I want to make sure that you're aware of. Then we're going to get into our vital signs, which you might have clicked on for, which were the 5 tools you should not buy on Black Friday. And as I mentioned in the email, it's not necessarily anti-Black Friday, but this is cautious Black Friday, right? Not just buying everything or thinking that you have to buy because of the magnitude of the marketing messages you're probably getting right this second. So I want to help give you some clarity, keep you from feeling overwhelmed with all of the deals that tell you have to buy this today. No, you don't have to buy everything today. Let's just be honest. You shouldn't be buying everything today. And there's certain things you need to watch out for. Then we get into our lab work, kind of on the same vein, free versus paid. I'm going to be honest and tell you about some things that I'm scaling back and I'm using the free version instead of the paid version. Maybe you're one of those people that have always felt like you had to have the paid version for it to be, worth your while or actually work for you. Maybe not. Maybe some of these things that have paid tiers, you don't need the paid tier. You can just use the free version. I'm going to open up and let you know some of those. And then we're going to get to our consult, talking about 2026 again, the goals that you should be setting. Do you even know what you should be aiming for? It's really tricky. Every year we talk about New Year's resolutions and goals, but what should determine what your goals should be? And we're going to talk about that so that you can kind of give me feedback, what you're thinking about for next year, what am I thinking about, what we're thinking about as a community. And then finally, we'll get into our prescriptions, and I'll tell you more about the Bible plan that we have. Actually, and there's another prescription. I forgot to change that last prescription there. So we're going to talk more about that. If you are joining us once again live, please feel free to comment. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you're watching from. And I'm really excited to find out what you guys think of the 5 things you should not be buying. That's what's coming up. So stay tuned. Don't jump away. If you have to jump away, come back, because this is where I think you're going to get a lot of value out of the things you shouldn't be worried about buying on Black Friday. All right, let's go ahead and make sure I get on the right screen here. And by the way, once again, TikTok, if you are joining us and you want to see what's on my screen, you need to jump over to our YouTube page. Okay, so once again, I want to kind of give a shout out to YouVersion. 2 weeks ago, we had a historic event celebrating beyond 1 billion installs of their apps over all of their different apps, their Light Bible app, I think the Bible for Kids as well. Those are all included. And it was just incredible to be in this room. So you can see a little bit. I don't know if you can still see the live stream anymore, but I can show you a couple of pictures from that event. The live stream was actually played during the actual event, so you could watch it live. I don't know if it's still available, but you can see some of the pictures there from some of the amazing creators, the Bible publishers that got to be connect with. Jackie Bledsoe there, a little photo bomb there from Scott behind us. That was cool. Meeting up with some other people like Rachel G. Scott there on the bottom left, along with Joel C. Maum, who is a writer of and some incredible resources for both the Bible and for vision. We used his Bible app, his Bible plan, and his Bible book, I should say, his resource for our church even. So he's a part of that same group of people who are such an amazing influence on my life. So that was just, again, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that this had happened, that we are connecting with YouVersion all the time. And if you have not heard, we are a YouVersion content partner, which means we get to share on the YouVersion app. So if you have not heard yet, we already have the 5 plans. And then just 2 weeks ago, we released the Creator's Legacy. That's our 6th Bible plan that is now on the YouVersion app. It has been doing amazing. We have so many great comments coming back, people who enjoyed it, people who were blessed by it, because this one really focuses on your legacy moving forward. So once again, those of you who are on TikTok, you may not be able to see my screen, but we have the Creator's Legacy thumbnail up there, so you'll know what to look for. All you got to do is go to godandgigs.com/YouVersion, and you'll see all of our plans. As a matter of fact, I think that might be what I have on the TikTok profile. I may have these plans available on the YouVersion app right there. So I hope you'll go check that out, as well as all of our other plans that are available: the Creator's Purpose, the Creator's Authority, Creator's Craft, Creator's Timing, and the Creator's Battle. All of those are available there on the YouVersion app. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend, and hope that you'll be blessed, that you'll go check those out. You can find them all at godandgigs.com/YouVersion. And let me know what you think of them. We're getting ready to do a whole new series. I have not yet started on that. Kind of like my goal for the end of 2026 is to make sure that there's plans ready for January, which means I have to get right on it right away. So I would love to know what you want to learn about the Bible and creator lifestyle connections, like how the Bible connects to your creator lifestyle. What do you need to learn? What are you looking for? I would love to get some comments and some suggestions from you so that I can prepare the right kind of things for this Bible app so that you can have the plans that will bless you in the new year. Whether it's a 30-day plan, 5-day plans have been the norm for me so far, but maybe we should go to bigger or longer plans. So just let me know if that's something you're interested in, and we will prepare them, because this is the season for us to get ready for 2026, as you can tell. Lately on the God and Gig Show, on our podcast, this is our last week. I think on Monday 2 weeks ago, we did a live stream on this. And now we did a podcast that kind of summarized it. However, right after we did a live stream, honestly, a lot more information came out, including a song that came out on iTunes that is literally number one, but it is AI generated. This brought up a lot of issues, a lot of people talking about whether or not Christians really should be involved in this kind of thing, whether we should be promoting AI music. So I highly recommend you go check out this episode. It is godandgigs.com/363. If you want to go find all the links to it, you can always go to godandgigs.com/podcast to find all of our podcasts, all of the things that we're sharing, both in audio and video, YouTube here, if you're watching on YouTube, but also on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on any other podcast app that you are using. You can go find this episode, godandgigs.com/363, Are Christian Creators in Danger of Being Replaced by AI? So go check that out. I really want to, again, get your comments and thoughts about this extremely important issue that's becoming more and more complex by the day. Like every day, there's another thing about AI. And I wanted you to hear my perspective and the rest of our community's perspectives on this issue. Speaking of our community, let's give a shout out to our home for faith-focused creators, our 360 members. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on TikTok, or if you're watching on replay, let us know that you're watching, because you guys are our amazing community. We have so many creators who have joined in, who are connecting with each other, who are enjoying an algorithm-free experience on our app. They're getting discipline-specific discussions. Musicians are talking to musicians. Podcasters are talking to podcasters. Authors are talking to authors. We have all of our creative workshops, including the one I'm about to announce. That is the trainings. Those trainings and those recordings are available there on the app all together, like Netflix style, so you can find anything you need, whether it be taxes, prayer help, things on how to develop your audience and your community, on how to build relationships. Basically, it is a smorgasbord. That's a word for you. It is a buffet, since we're coming from Thanksgiving. It's like a buffet of anything pertaining to the creator lifestyle that would help you to figure out these issues and obstacles that are stopping you from achieving your God-given dream and purpose with your creative gift. Prayer and spiritual encouragement is one of the biggest things I love about our app. It has a prayer chat where you can get prayer for these things. That's one of the things I don't think you'll find in any other app, where the prayer line is open 24/7, and coaching and connection goes with our gold members. So all of that to say, I want to make sure that you are aware of it, because we want to make sure you are connecting with other creators who are just like you. These are the members, just some of them, by the way, who are members of our 360 community. I want to say once again, thank you guys. It's Thanksgiving weekend. Without these people, we would not be who we are. We would not have a community without creators who trust us, who join in, who come into the calls, who come into the Zoom calls, who connect on the app, who are writing to each other, who are sharing what they're doing, who are sharing their podcasts or their art or their music. They're actually sharing life 24/7, 365 with each other, and it makes their creative life so much richer. It makes my creative life so much richer. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and thanks again for being a part of this membership. If you are interested in becoming a member of 360, there's two levels, two ways to do it. You can join and subscribe our Creator Resource Center, where you get members app. You get access to monthly workshops and replays. You get access to our creative forums and text threads, and access to our app and special events. And you could also join our Gold Mastermind, where you get all of the above, but also weekly live coaching and accountability sessions inside of our group coaching calls. So it adds on that extra element of even learning more from each other. And I can just tell you, the Gold experience has been absolutely gold for some of our creators who have accomplished major steps forward and progress in their creative lives. just some little moments or mentions from those creators so you can see what they are enjoying. From Simone Hugie, she was in a creative rut. She didn't know how to start her projects or finish her old ones. The God and Gigs coaching program was a game changer for me. They're from Claudette, amazing singer right here in South Florida. She said, I truly need a community. I thank God for the vision as we grow and prosper and move forward in the gifts and talents and purposes that God has given us. Love how she's been sharing and how she has been a part of our community for a long time now. Pamela said, I just watched the replay of our God and Gigs coaching session from last year. The tips are still helpful. Grateful for Pamela. Thank you so much, Pamela, for sharing that with us. And from Charmaine, one of our OGs, an amazing creator, and just her all-around mind around business and marketing. But she has expanded by leaps and bounds since joining God and Gigs. She said, G&G, God and Gigs, grounded me during a time when I was eaten up and spit out by the business. I wouldn't have been able to heal enough to mentor my son. And her son, by the way, is a musician as well. So thank y'all for your kind notes, for reminding us that God and Gigs 360 is a place that's giving you the ability to get more connected, to move from isolated and feeling unsure to being confident and connected. So all of that to say, if you would love to join these folks, this is one of your best chances. Now, I know I said before that this is kind of like the anti-Black history, the anti-Black Friday. But I want to be honest with you and tell you that, hey, if there is something that's worth buying, we're going to tell you about it too. We're going to tell you what not to buy, but we're going to tell you things that are worth it to buy. So what I believe this program has done is created something that will be something worth your while. So we created the 2026 Christian Creator Mastery Plan. So basically it includes the membership to our God and Gigs 360 community, as well as a bunch of bonuses that would not be available as a bundle anymore. It's the first and only time I'm adding all of the stuff together before the year is over, so that you can get all of the things you need to get your whole year set up, your marketing plan, your sales plan, your community to connect with you, Christian community, so that you have your spiritual backing, like all of that connected, so that you do not have to worry about this throughout the rest of the year. So if you are interested in this, let's tell you where to go. I hadn't even tell you where to go. If you're interested in getting this during this Black Friday, Cyber Monday season, we will probably leave this open a little longer than maybe everybody else does, but it doesn't mean you need to wait. So I think it's 2026 Mastery. I believe that's right. I got to make sure I get my own tab correct. Let's make sure. I'm going to check it right now. You guys can see if I'm right. And check and make sure that this is the right name. God and I can't spell. Anytime that I'm doing this on with you guys, I always get really nervous, and I don't know why. Yes, 2026 Mastery. Did I spell it right? Let's see. You guys tell me if you can see this. Good to see our friends from And She Reads over there. So yes, it's there. So if you go to godandgigs.com/2026 Mastery, you will see our Black Friday Cyber Monday special. You'll see that we give you our special Christian Creator Mastery Plan with exclusive bonuses that will provide all support you need to excel in 2026 as a creator. You get your membership plus access to a 30-day social media posting sprint that will teach you everything you need to do for posting for an entire month. So January, February, March, each month. You'll know exactly what you need to post. You won't have to think about it anymore. Access to our Creator Resource Center, which I've mentioned, has all 12 months of 2025. And then the next year, so you'll get 2 years worth of Creator Resource trainings, tools, and templates that help you in every area of your creative life. Plus your 21-day cash flow fast track that'll teach you how to build a new product within 3 weeks. And then our Booked and Blessed 5-day challenge is another bonus. This is a new program we're going to do to teach you how to book your next awesome gig in just 1 week without having to compromise your values or your rates. So that is all going to be available for you. Again, early access only this week at this particular rate. So you can see again the people who have been blessed by our community And it's time to move forward from being isolated and unsure about your calling to building a connected and confident creator lifestyle that is consistently giving you more inspiration, income, and influence daily. The 2026 Christian Creator Mastery Plan is your pathway to that reality, and it expires on December 5th. So, as you can see, we created both a quarterly plan and a yearly plan. Why did I do that? Well, I know that many people do not love having to pay monthly. That kind of cash flow issue is sometimes a big issue. So by making it quarterly or yearly, I'm stretching out where you don't have to worry about this payment for another 3 months. Or if you want to do the yearly, it's done for the rest of the year. So we want you to avoid that kind of cash crunch where every month you have to say, oh, wait, what am I spending? This way, if you start making money, you pay for the quarterly payment long before you ever need to worry about that subscription. So this was us thinking, how can we serve you guys better, even in the payment plans? So instead of doing a monthly plan for this one, we said, let's make it quarterly. We're going to really discount this in terms of the actual monthly fee. When you break down the quarterly, it's way less than it normally is for our gold program. And then the yearly, of course, is even less than that. So we did everything we could to try to make this super, super, super easy for you to get involved and get your 2026 figured out right away. So I hope that is a option for you, that's going to bless you, that's going to make you want to feel like, hey, you know what? I should jump in this week. And again, we'll explain why this is one of the things you should buy versus the things you should not buy. I'm not trying to be hypocritical. I get it, because you might be saying, no, we just said we're not going to talk about Black Friday deals. But this is our way of making sure we created something of value for you while that was up, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get that. And let's move on to, let's see where we're at. I believe we are ready for, oh, one other thing. Yes, one more announcement. I promise this will be the last announcement. The Refresh Creator, we were supposed to do this on last week, I think, and we just had a mix up and things like that happen. Things happen between issues of scheduling and issues of things coming up. And so we were able to get Dustin back onto our calendar. Thank you, Dustin, for being willing to be so flexible. So we have now picked the date of Tuesday, December 16th at 11 a.m. So it's going to be on a Tuesday instead of a Friday. It's going to be $20 registration fee, as it always is for people who are not in 360 Gold or 360 Creator as well, Creator Resource members. You guys also don't have to pay. It's always part of your membership and your subscription. But we want to get you all into this so that you can learn how to stop doing busy work and maximize your creative time and energy. Okay? How to stop doing all the busy work, how to get margin back into your life. Because so many times creators, we're dealing with not having margin, not having any space. You're dealing with all the things you're doing as a creator and real life. And it's like, where do I have time for myself? Where do I have time for anything? So we're going to help you to stop doing all the work that you don't need to do so that you can do the work you are supposed to do. And Dustin is a creative process coach who has been in church ministry his whole life, and yet has an eye and an ear and an idea of how to run Christian businesses and agencies. And that's where his sweet spot is. It's in the agencies and the ministries that are going beyond just the one person, but he knows how to explain things to the single artist, the single creator, solopreneur, so that they can become more focused and be able to get the work done that they need to get done. So please make sure that you mark that in your calendars and make sure you go ahead and register for it if you're not a CRC or a gold member. Okay, so CRC gold members, once again, you don't have to worry about this. But if you are not a CRC and gold member, let me see, I don't see, once again, I always feel like I'm missing, you guys know this. This is what happened again. I don't have the banner ready. I don't know why it's always the banner that's missing. Whenever I think I have the banner and I don't have it. There we go. All right, the banner is ready now. This is what I'm trying to get out of. I'm trying to get more and more prepared. But every time I do this, it seems like I forget one thing. So, godandgigs.com/creator-workshop. Okay, that's where you go. Once again, make sure you get signed up if you are not a gold member or CRC, or if you don't join our master plan. That way, if you join the master plan, you could already get into this, obviously, because the master plan includes this as part of your subscription. All right, now I think we are ready for our vital signs, which you probably, again, signed up to see or hear if you're joining us for the first time. So let's talk about 5 tools you should not buy on Black Friday. Now, you are listening or watching right now. It may be a little bit after Black Friday. Maybe the deals are still going, but as we all know, it's the shopping season now that Thanksgiving is over, and you're being probably inundated right now with a ton of emails, text messages. My phone has been going off nonstop from anyone, from my pizza place, local pizza place, to my running shoes company, to like you name it. Every single entity, business, company is trying to get your attention with a Black Friday deal. Let's just be honest. And again, I don't want to be hypocritical. Do we have a Black Friday Cyber Monday deal? Yes, we do. But I don't want anyone who doesn't need it to buy it. I don't want anyone that doesn't need the tools to go out there and spend money on things that you should not be buying because of your stage, because of your needs. So I want to make sure on this Black Friday Cyber Monday weekend that I kind of lay out things you should avoid, things you should not be looking at, so that your money can go to where it really matters, where it will really have an impact. And of course, we all know, gifts and all that kind of stuff. All you guys who are buying your gifts and getting ready and going to Amazon, I get it. Yes, you're trying to get the best deal. We're talking about the creator tools that you don't need or don't need to buy right now for Black Friday, no matter what the deal is. Okay? So let's talk about the 5 tools you do not need today. All right, here's the most important one, the most important tool you should not buy on Black Friday. Okay? Don't buy any tool that is only going to give you a short-term boost. Now, what do I mean by short-term? I mean, if you get an offer for something that does not provide a long-term solution for you on a Black Friday deal, don't buy it. What happens is, as you see all these offers, you'll say to yourself, oh, I'm never going to be able to buy this thing. I should buy it because it will help me get, 10 more subscribers. It will help me build my subscriber list for the next month. But once that month is over and you're looking at your expenditures, you're looking at what you spent, and you realize that you didn't get much out of that investment, no matter what it is, if it's gear, if it's software, do not buy it if you don't know what the long-term effect is going to be. You need to buy and look for deals on things that will have a long-term effect. And yes, even if this particular tool has, an amazing price that you're like, oh, if I just get it now, maybe it will be a long-term boost. Well, that's true, maybe. But the maybe is the most important thing. You need to be aware of what are the pros and the cons of what you buy. So a great example might be a camera if you are a photographer. That's a long-term boost if you are looking at it in some ways. However, we also know that cameras, and like everything else in technology, are always being updated. So if you are committing to buying this camera at a certain price, know that you're committing to the 2 or 3 or 4 years that you're going to keep it, and you're not going to be upgrading every year. Same thing could be said for software. Same thing could be said for a lot of different gear options that people have. Don't buy it just for the short-term boost. Black Friday deals, all that kind of stuff, that's great, but it doesn't make it a good investment if it's not going to work for you over time and basically get you your money back. So that's the first one. Don't buy any tools that are only for a short-term boost. And kind of related to that is number 2. On Black Friday, don't buy gear that isn't for a specific purpose or goal. Now, when I'm talking about this is less about the short-term boost, and this is more about just buying something because it's cool, buying something because everybody's got one, buying someone because you feel this comparison, and now you're like, oh, well, everybody has the latest and greatest, I got to get it. And now there's a Black Friday deal. I got to buy it right now because I'll never be able to get this at this lower price. Once again, the problem is not the lower price. The problem is your purpose. What are you going to use this gear for? If you are buying it at this low price and you're thinking, oh, well, this is justifies the cost, it still doesn't justify if you buy it and don't have a real reason for it inside your creator business. Is it going to get you more subscribers? Is it going to help you build community? Is it going to help you create a better image? Are you going to be doing like a camera? We talked about it a lot, right? Are you creating better shots? Are you getting better shots? Or is this just something that you just feel like you have to have because everybody else has this same piece of equipment, but it's not honestly going to help you? So don't buy any gear that isn't for a specific purpose or goal. All right. Don't go for it because it's not going to help you in the long run. So that's 2. Let's talk about number 3. This one is an important one for those of us who are in the creator industries and we see all of the software that comes out, the new software, right? You see a new app that comes out and it's like, oh, for Black Friday, you can get it in for like a year or get it 2 years at this low, cheap price. Now, this one is a little bit tougher for me because sometimes I've done this. I have bought software at a very, very low price because it was a new piece of software. Here's the problem with the Black Friday deal when you buy it just for that reason. Now you're going to spend more time trying to learn this software that may not be good for you long term. And once again, it is not as much a problem of the investment of time or money, it's the investment of time. If you're going to buy software, it needs to be something that you're going to actually implement. And until you implement it, you don't know if it's going to be good, which means you got to spend time with this software to even see if it's worth your while. Now, free trials is a little different. If you want to do a free trial with something like this, it makes perfect sense. But if you are buying a long-term subscription, Black Friday style, to something that's not tested, and now you got to spend a lot of time testing it because you feel like you have to make it work, now you're kind of losing time and momentum because you're spending time trying to make something fit that you weren't really sure about. And when I say tested, I mean other people have tested it as well. So yes, it kind of sounds like I'm going against new software, but for a Black Friday deal, even if it is extremely inexpensive, I would bet against just buying something because it's cheaper. Unless, again, there's a reason that you need it and there's a reason that it's replacing something. But buying things that are not tested long term doesn't work often because, again, that software might go out of business. And then after you've spent all this time trying to learn it, and it doesn't become part of your repertoire, it doesn't become part of your everyday workflow. Now you just spent a lot of time and spent some money that you didn't need to spend because you just bought it because it was a Black Friday deal and you figured you'd try it out. So I would suggest not buying software that hasn't been tested long term. The 4th thing, this is really important. This one is an important one. Don't buy tools on Black Friday that you haven't grown into yet or need at your level. This is huge. And I've struggled once again with this. I have seen Black Friday deals and Cyber Monday deals, and you're like, oh, I don't need this now, but I will need it later. And once I need it, I'll have it at the lower price, which again sounds smart until you realize, once again, you're paying for something that you're not actually using yet, and you are counting on the fact that you're going to use it someday. So it's kind of like buying the thing you just put up in your cupboard, like one day I'm going to use this. And then you never actually use it, or you don't realize what's the key thing that you need to do to be able to use it is to build your business or do something else like that actually help you grow at the level you're at. So what I think a lot of times we do as creators, we look past where we're at and we want to think like the people who have these big companies and these big platforms. And we want to say, oh, well, he has that or she has that. I'm going to need that one day. If I'm going to need it one day, I might as well get it now, because if I get it now, I can learn how to use it. Again, faulty reasoning. The best way for you to build up to that level is not to buy the software or the tools that the big guys are using, because they built up to that. They actually need it at that level. But you don't need a bells and whistles program when you're only doing peanut butter and jelly style marketing at this point. You got to get better at where you're at. And that's why you have to be careful not to get sucked into all, again, I'm being very honest with you, I have been tempted many times to buy the big version because they discounted it so much on Black Friday. But again, if I'm not using it and it ends up kind of just sucking away my energy of trying to make this work because I bought it and now I got to use it. So many of my software programs have hit the dirt, hit the dust, bit the dust because I didn't need them at the time and I never scaled into them. And so scaling is one of those things that you really don't want to try to do via just buying a bunch of discounted things that you feel you're going to use later, because usually it doesn't work out that way. And then finally, let's go down. Let's see, did I go here? Yes. Fifth, last thing. This one is super important for all of us subscription people that get so sucked into Black Friday deals and things like that, where they say, oh, only sign up for such and such. And then, 3 months free or 3 months of this. And then you find out, oh, wait, I don't really want this. Do not buy subscriptions that don't have a clear cancellation policy. So many tools are kind of going out there and they're getting you with the annual, and that's a great investment sometimes. But then you don't really realize, wait, what do I have to do if I don't want this later? If I do kind of realize that this is not a tool for me, and you don't know what the cancellation policy is. I've had this happen to me so many times with subscriptions. This just comes down to like being wise. Don't buy things if you don't know how to cancel, especially the subscription. Read the terms. I know it takes forever. I know this is a struggle, but read the terms and conditions. At least learn where it says how to cancel, okay, before you buy any Black Friday deals. Because if you don't know how to cancel and you get stuck, now you are, paying month after month after month. And you're like, why did I get this? I don't know why I got this. So keep thinking about, what do I need to make sure of so that this is a smart purchase overall. So the 5 kinds of tools you don't want to buy on Black Friday. Okay, let's review them. Don't buy anything that's only going to give you a short-term boost. Do not buy any tools that are just for short-term. Don't buy gear that isn't for a specific purpose or goal. So don't just buy gear just to buy it, just to keep up with the Joneses. Don't buy any software that hasn't been tested long-term on Black Friday, no matter how deep the discount, because oftentimes your time is also just as important as the money you spent. Don't buy tools that you haven't grown into yet or don't need at your level because someone else uses it who's a bigwig. That doesn't mean that you need this particular type of software. And don't buy subscriptions that don't have a clear cancellation policy, because I'm telling you, and you all know this, you will get burned when you buy the thing that is cheap. And all of a sudden you see the price go up and you did not realize that it was going to go up after that first initial period. And you didn't make sure to check the cancellation policy on how to get out of that if you decided to buy it. So I hope that's been helpful. I mean, let's be honest again. I know we're all out here checking out all these deals. So checking out the deals is fine, but getting caught is not fine. Not a good look to get caught and realize that you didn't really make a good deal or that you got taken advantage of because you were so busy looking for the discounts. Okay, hope that was a blessing to you. Now we're going to get ready to jump into our lab work. Once again, if you're watching on replay, feel free to jump in, share a comment. I'll definitely be checking out what you share there. Let's see if I can go ahead. There we go. All right. Let's get real about the same subject in a different way. Instead of talking about things we're not going to buy, let's talk about what we are. Whoa, where did I go? There we go. Share screen. Let's keep sharing screen. Let's talk about what we can get for free, right? Nothing wrong with free. Free is great. So let's talk about some of the options you have for free things that also have a paid tier. And this is our lab work where I tell you like what I'm actually doing at the time. And this is, again, very, very transparent. This time of year, I am really holding back on spending money that I don't need to spend. And that includes on subscriptions that I do what I just talked about, which is paid for the paid version when I really didn't need it. As a matter of fact, this very stream that I'm doing right now from StreamYard is from a free account that I used to pay for. Why? I could continue to pay for it, but the truth is, I need to focus on one thing at a time, and that's this YouTube channel, which StreamYard allows me to stream to. And all they ask is that they put that little powered by StreamYard, which is fine with me. And I get to use this service for free. Now, I will probably go back to paying for it at a certain point so I can go to LinkedIn and I can go to TikTok and Instagram all at the same time. But right now, this is honestly an example of using a free tier of a paid service and getting all the bang and buck that I need from it at this specific time. So let's talk about a few other tools. I put these in my notes, so give me a second to look for the notes where I find it so I can write these. I wrote these down to make sure I got them right. So here's another one, a free account that you may not realize can be free. So booking, those of you who are booking either podcasts or you're booking people for coaching or you're booking things for like, your inquiries and your sales calls or things like that, you can go to Calendly.com. Now, I didn't even realize this, but Calendly.com is what I've used for years. Okay. Calendly has a free tier. So maybe you thought, oh, I have to pay for Calendly in order to use it. Now, if you want to have multiple versions of the calls, like I used to have one for podcasts and then one for Zoom calls for basically, consultations and so on. So I had all of these. But you know what? I bumped it down to the free. I only have one version of that particular link, but it works just fine. And if I'm not getting a ton of traffic to all of these other Calendly links, it makes sense that I could just have one and I can then turn it into whatever I needed to turn it into. If I want to get somebody to pay me for a call, all I have to do is just make sure that when I send them the confirmation that they see the link to pay for the service. And if they don't, I don't take the appointment, right? So there are ways to use the free tiers of these things to make sure that they still accomplish what you want them to accomplish, but at the same time, you don't spend money that you don't need to spend. Another one that I love that you should be aware of is what you're watching me use right now, which is Beautiful.ai. Beautiful.ai is a presentation software maker. And for years, I've been like, I cannot believe this is free. But y'all, I'm not paying for Beautiful AI. So let me just make it a little bigger so you guys can see it. So all of the things that you just saw that I just went through, let's just go back through these. Some of these were made in Canva, but then they were made in Canva and then ported over to this. So Beautiful.ai, again, unless I'm wrong about this, is entirely free. And I've been able to make beautiful slides like this for my presentations, for my speaking, all of it from a free account. Now, do they have a paid account? Yes, I believe they have a paid account. I'm not even really sure what the paid does. So to be honest with you, I don't know why I would go for a paid level. I think there's a team level for paid. So maybe that's what we're talking about. But I just wanted to show you, you know what? I wonder if I can go to the back end of Beautiful AI for a second, which again, I just want to show you kind of like what else is there. So we're going to let you guys see how I even build these slides. Because one of the things that you can do is, let's do this since I didn't have this. And did I have a slide? So you can see how you can have templates here. You can edit the entire theme to different themes. Let's have some fun with this a little bit. We can change colors. This is a color. I can kind of change it a little bit. Let's just use a little bit of a blue. It was blue. Let's make it a little more blue. So you can change the colors. You can change all of your accents and so on. And charts, your typography. Obviously, you can change different things in terms of the way that the sample headers look. I can update that, and instantly it changes everything. So that looks a lot nice. That looks nice. I don't mind that at all. That actually is that's a cool look. So as you can see, it's a excellent presentation maker. And I have all of these that I've been doing for years, all for free. And again, let's look at the upgrade real quick. So Pro, I've done the annual for $144 a year. So that's not a lot. And you might want to go for Pro, but if you don't need to, then don't. So I want to be very, very honest with you that to see the things that I am not necessarily paying for right now, because I don't necessarily need what it offers at this time. Again, doesn't mean that you don't pay for certain things. It just means that you only pay for the things that you really need. So let's go ahead, and I got to get back out of this now to go to, oh, I get out. Okay, I got to go back. Oh, now I can't get out of the upgrade. Okay, we'll have to figure that out later. Anyway, let's go back and remove. Now, let's talk about a couple other tools that I recommend. Another one I was thinking of was, oh, this is super interesting. Those of you who are podcasts or future podcasters, or you're thinking about podcasting, you may have been wondering about, okay, well, where do I get my hosting? Because hosting usually costs some money for you to use. And I've used Buzzsprout for years, and it's a $12 or $16 or something like that a month. However, there are several platforms that are coming up with free hosting recently. RSS.com is one. Another one is Riverside.fm, which I use for my videos. But what's interesting about theirs is they are also now getting into hosting. So it's very interesting that that's becoming a thing, that you can now get your hosting without having to worry about paying month to month. And so I got to remember what the name of the plan is for, I think it was a niche plan on RSS.com. You have to go look that up. But again, this is something that was not available that often. None of those really hosting programs were free for the most part. But it's becoming a thing now. Now, I'm still going to recommend Buzzsprout if you just want to know. We use Buzzsprout, buzzsprout.com. You can go to godofgifts.com/Buzzsprout to check that out. But just the fact that there's availability now for a free plan, I would highly recommend, if you are not sure about what you're going to podcast about and you just want to get started, get your feet wet, go use one of these free plans and then see if it works for you. And that way, once again, you get this on-ramp without having to spend a lot of money. Again, you can invest in yourself. You should invest in yourself. I'm not telling you not to invest. But what I am saying, don't invest money until you are sure how you're going to get a return and how you're planning to use that return or use that tool. That's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand in talks like this. Doesn't mean you don't invest. It means you invest in the right things. All right. I think I have a couple more. Let me look at my notes real quick. It's also, oh yeah, last one, well, two more. Let's talk a little bit about your email. Let's talk about Kit, because Kit has been my recommended email operating system for pretty much my entire time that I've been an online entrepreneur. However, let's be honest, again, some of you do not need all the bells and whistles that Kit provides. And if you want to use the free plan, Kit does have a free plan for newsletters up to 10,000 subscribers, which is crazy. You can use it for free. There is a free tier, okay? However, if you don't want to stick with the free and you want to use more of the automations and things like that, then you do need to go up to their paid version. So this is super cool because, once again, this goes right along with our Black Friday discussion. Is it worth it to pay for something like Kit, where here you can get 60% off the monthly creator plan, or 30% off the annual plan? In order to build your email list through their creator network, you need to buy this. Here's where I would say it's worth it. It's worth it if you want to use their creator network to build your email list by referring other creators who are just like you and connecting the dots between their email list and your email list. That makes it really, really, really beneficial, okay? Most of my growth of my email list has been through the creator network. So if I'm just building my email list off of my own efforts, and I'm just going to be connecting with people through social media, or just putting out my landing pages, then I don't need this. I don't need the creator monthly plan. But if I'm going to utilize the flywheel that Kit has created, then I probably want to go ahead and get this. And that's why I'm offering or selling you guys about the offer that we have right there. Kit, godandgigs.com/Kit-Black Friday. I think this is only available till December 2nd. Okay, godandgigs.com/Kit-Black Friday will get you 60% off the Creator Monthly Plan. And once again, know why you're getting this. If you are getting this, you're getting this for this purpose: to build your email list, to get connected with the Creator Network, build your profile, and then start connecting with other creators so that they start recommending you and you start recommending them and you start using Kit's offers or using Kit's features to create offers that will drive people both to buy from you and to get into your email list as well so you can sell to them via your email list. All right. That's the purpose. So don't get these services unless you have a plan for the service. And that's why I'm recommending you go get this one, because you really do need to be on email no matter what. Okay. But once again, there is a free tier. I'm not telling everybody you need to get the 60% off Creator Monthly plan. If you just need the free tier, then use the free tier, the newsletter version that only does up to 10,000 subscribers. I mean, only, it's not only, it's a big number. It goes up to 10,000 subscribers, but it just has certain limitations in terms of the Creator Network. And the Creator Network is one of the biggest benefits of the Kit service that you can use for email and growing your creator business. Okay. So I've gone over a lot of free tools. Hopefully that helped you. I did not spend a lot of time talking about buy this, buy that, buy that. Hopefully you hear that I'm trying to get you guys to use your money wisely over this weekend so that you are not spending money that you don't need to spend just because everybody and their mom is sending you an email to buy something. Okay. All right. So I think we're almost to the end. Yes. I would love to know in the comments, what are your goals for 2026? What are you planning? What are you thinking of? And probably most importantly, why are you making that your goal? I think it's super important to not just think of the what you are planning, but the why you're planning it. Why you believe God is calling you to do certain things. Because if you know your why, you'll be able to sustain the what and the how. But if you don't know your why, you can't sustain the what and you don't know how, and you won't know why you're actually aiming for that thing in the first place. And this is what really happens, I think, to a lot of creators. We see, and again, comparison, we see someone else is creating, and all of a sudden we think we're supposed to do everything that they're doing. And that's not necessarily what God wants for you. We said in our AI conversation, just because everybody else is using AI doesn't mean you have to, if it's not either something that you spiritually feel that you should be a part of, or if it's not contributing to your creative growth. It might be stunting your growth. So look into your reasons why for setting certain goals that you have for 2026. It's only 33, and whenever you're watching, it's going to be less than that. 31 days away, whatever, 1 month away before we get to January, everybody's going to start setting their goals. Start thinking now of what you can do to really be in tune with God and in tune with your creative career so that you don't set goals just because. Set goals that you have an intention for. Set goals that kind of evaluate where you've been and why you're going in a new direction or a certain direction so that you can continue to become even more confident and connected. Of course, one of the ways you can do that by making sure you're checking these goals with other creators like the ones in God and Gigs 360. That's why we promote our community so much. But I would love to know in the comments, share what your goals are, share what you're thinking about. And then after that, again, make sure you share your goals with somebody else so they can check you and say, hey, why are you doing this? How are you going to do this? That's what we do in the creator community. But I would love for you to consult with each other and inside the comments on this issue. Okay, we're almost to the end. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me the entire hour. It's been a great call. Let's do this and go ahead to our final thing, which is our prescriptions. Thank you guys who joined us on TikTok the entire time. Super cool, kind of like just have people hanging out with us. Even though you couldn't see our screen, you got to go to godandgigs.com/YouTube if you want to check it out, or at YouTube if you want to see our screen. But I'm glad you were able to hang out with me while I was sharing, okay? Let's see, I got to go one more screen. There we go. The to-do list today. What would we prescribe? I prescribe, and let's make it a little bigger so you can see it. I prescribe that you get early access to our 2026 Christian Creator Mastery Plan. Once again, that is what's available to you for the next week only. So we're going to give you a little more time than Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but we can't leave early access open forever because it's not early access anymore. So if you want to get early access to our 2026 Christian Creator Mastery Plan, then you have to go to godandgigs.com/2026 mastery. Okay, godandgigs.com/2026 mastery. You actually don't need all this. I'm just going to put this right here. I always put this because I think it's clickable, but you can't click on that. There we go. Act a little better, easier to read. GodandGigs.com/2026 Mastery. Once again, we created a quarterly plan for you so you don't have to pay again for 3 whole months. We created an annual payment plan so you don't have to think about it for the rest of the year. And one investment into your creative calling gets you so much, gets you all of these bonuses. It gets you the fast track for cash flow, the 21-day cash flow fast track. It gets you the 30-day social media sprint. It gets you the access to the 24/7 Creative Resource Center. It gets you access to our prayer chat. It gets you access to our bi-monthly group coaching calls for accountability with other Christian creators who think like you, who want to grow like you, who want to know what you want to know, who are encouraging each other. The folks like Pamela and Charmaine and Anita and Aisha and like so many other creators that are in that group that are just growing by leaps and bounds because of each other's influence. It truly is a community. It's not just a bunch of people hanging around, talking about growing. They're actually doing the work. And it's in those environments that you grow the most. So once again, I highly recommend that you jump in on this particular deal because this is not just something that doesn't have a short-term ROI. This is a long-term ROI type deal, type offer that will help you for the rest of your creative life. I said from the things that you should not buy, don't buy things that are short-term, right? We're losing TikTok once again. Because TikTok thinks I'm a robot when you leave it for 45 minutes. All right, there we go. We're almost done. But once again, GodandGigs.com/2026 Mastery. Only available, we will hold it open past Cyber Monday, but not past next Friday, okay? So I don't want to give you like a pass and say don't get it until next Friday and then wait till the last second because that could be dangerous. But again, community is where the conversations and the conversion and the transformation happens. It doesn't really happen on your own. And if you've been stuck in 2025, I don't want you to be stuck in 2026. Okay, let's not spend another year stuck what God called you to do. Let's not spend another year stuck in what you think you should do because you're not sure who haven't talked to anybody. You don't know what to do with the podcast. You don't know what to do with your music career. You don't know what to do with the writing. You don't know what to do with the book. You don't know what to do with your poetry. You don't know what to do with your movie. You don't know what to do because you're not talking to people. Let's just be straight up with everybody, okay? That's what's stopping you is the lack of community. Isolation breeds that insecurity, all right? I'm going to say it again because I want to make sure this is clear. Isolation breeds insecurity. If you are insecure as a Christian creator, I can guarantee you that you're also isolated. You don't see a bunch of isolated Christian creators who are killing it. And you don't see a bunch of insecure Christian creators who are in community. It's almost always the opposite. If you're insecure, you're probably isolated. If you're secure, you're probably connected. So that's why I want to make sure that you all have access, early access to the Christian Creator Mastery Plan before we end this particular Black Friday season. And once again, I'm giving you guys a little more time than everybody else because we are not trying to I'm trying to give you as much time as possible to think about this and make the right decision so that it's not something you just do. However, this is what I believe will help you for the rest of next year. So go ahead and jump in. If you don't have access to that, TikTok friends, just remember what I've been saying. I know this is going to go away. GodandGigs.com/2026 Mastery, or message me. Okay. If you get this on TikTok and you want to get this offer to join our membership, message me. I can then DM you the link through that. Okay. So let me know if you would like that. All right, my friends, we're right about at an hour. This was a great call. Replay, folks. Make sure you let me know that you watched via replay. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you continue to have a wonderful weekend with his family and friends, that you're giving God blessings and praise for what he has blessed you with. You are all a blessing to me and my wife and my family. God and Gigs, I have offered many times to God, prayed about it, said that God is, am I supposed to keep doing this? And he's never, ever, ever once given me the inclination that I'm supposed to pull away. I've had to change things up. I've had to move things around, but it's never not been a part of what God has called me to. It's called me to community. So I always will be here trying to help you to create the lifestyle that God wants you to have and to become the creator that he created you to be. So with that, God bless you. Have an amazing rest of the weekend. Stay tuned for our next podcast coming out on Monday, our creator checkups of newsletters on Wednesday. You can always find that at godandgeeks.com/newsletter. If you want to get into that, make sure you sign up there, godandgeeks.com/newsletter. And let me see, I said podcast, I said newsletter, then of course the live stream, which you just watched here on YouTube. God bless you guys. Take care. And until next time, continue to become the creator that you were created to be.